Hi again. It's Boaz from Boaz Artwork and second installment on my series on coloring with color pencils. My first installment was about the color pencils themselves, and today I'm going to speak about a basic technique of handling the pencils in order to get the best surface, colored surface as possible. So here we start, no time to waste. Except I need to get my camera ready. There we go. So I'm reusing the same sheet of paper. I'm the one to save paper. I'm not the one to just use it and use it so it's gonna look like really white brand new sheet of paper when I start. So I'm using the Faber-Castell, which I demonstrated yesterday. I got a lot of these pencils these days. So the basic technique for coloring is patience. Patience is a big part of this technique. The way it's all about the angle of your point. If your point is too much like that, when I see beginners, they try to drop a lot of pigment, have something really dense by going on the top like that, by just like working with the point. This is okay to do that on a very small surface where you're going to need a lot of detailing, like you're going to have a tiny little area to cover. You're going to go right on the point. But if you need to cover any extent of surface, what you want to do is drop your paper to the side and just go back and forth gently, trying to be as even as possible. Don't try to gain too much intensity of color at first. When coloring, often it is required to have several layers of pigmentation in order to achieve the final intensity of color. So you see what I'm doing here? I go over it again, and I'm trying to keep my strokes very even. And when I mean even, I mean that I'm not pushing hard on a stroke and then being light on the other and pushing hard again. I'm trying to be very, very constant in my pressure and in my movement. And this is how I move pretty fast. And then I come back. Now, what happened, a side effect of that, which can be a really helpful effect when doing this, is that it creates a plane. I don't know if you can see, but the pencil always work on the same angle, so it gets eroded in the same way, and it creates an area which is flat and which is bigger and bigger, so that you can continue to color with that one surface that you created on the tip of your point, of your pencil point. And then with each stroke you cover a bit more width, a bit more surface. So see, I continue to go back and forth. Now I've achieved quite a little bit of density. Now I want more density to it, so it is time to push a bit harder. So I take my time to do that, and I push harder and take my time to do that. So this is a great technique to do gradients. Now if you have to continue, you're gonna do another, you basically create bands of regular color side by side. What I usually do is I do the first layer, different paths with the first layer, and then cover them with a second layer. But I mean, I don't have a technique that is like always written in stone as to when I do the second layer or the third layer. What I have that is written in stone is that regularity of stroke, which is very, very, very important to achieve any result that's going to look good. If you start trying to go faster, go all over the place, you're not gonna have good result. Another thing that I do afterwards is change the angle of my stroke. When you change the angle of the stroke, you cover all the little spots that haven't been covered before. You tackle the paper in a different way. Maybe the paper is going to be a bit rougher, so it's going to catch a bit more pigment from your pencil. At this point, it's not, I've got my base is covered, so I can start being a bit more free with where I stroke. So there we go. That's the technique, basic technique for covering any surface with color pencil. So you have to be patient. Color penciling is not something that goes really fast. It's a patience game, and it's a detail game. But it's well worth it. You do obtain beautiful results with it. So that's it for the technique. Please feel free to ask any question, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a great day.